Hey guys, welcome back to Flat Creek Outdoors. I'm Phil, and today we have a sponsored video. A company called YITAMotor, I'm not exactly sure how to say that, reached out. They have a number of different tractor implements available. They also sell car parts and accessories and tools and a number of other things. It's not just tractor related stuff on their website, you'll see, but they reached out. They have a debris fork that they wanted me to try on. It's a clamp-on style debris fork. The package actually arrived kind of in bad shape, so I'm going to go ahead and unbox it here, make sure it has all the parts that we need, and if it doesn't, then I can reach out to them before we take this out to the farm. But then once everything's squared away, we will take it out to the farm and we'll put it through the paces. Like I said, this package arrived damaged. There's some over here and over here, and there's actually a hole on the other side, and I've already taken out one of these. I think this is probably going to be the threaded handle that we use to tighten the clamps to our bucket on the tractor. I looked around in the hole in the box and I didn't see a second one of these, so I'm nervous that it's not going to be in the package. But let's go ahead and open it up and see what we can figure out. Wasn't too much to unbox that. This cardboard actually got a little bit wet at some point. It's a little bit flimsy. Nothing we can do about that. And you can see a lot of the styrofoam packing material in here has broken, and there's lots of little styrofoam bits everywhere. And I think this was just handled a little bit poorly, and who knows, maybe it could have been boxed a little bit better. And we can see right here the second piece of hardware that I was looking for is zip tied to the forks, so this will be able to come out. Let's go ahead and get rid of this packaging and see what it looks like. So all in all, this thing does not look bad. It is powder coated. They painted the ends yellow just for visibility. The welds look okay. I've seen worse. And, you know, the packaging, even though it was damaged, there's not really any visible damage on this here. And even if there was, we're going to be scraping this thing in the dirt and whatnot anyway. A little bit of wear on the powder coat there, but nothing to really complain about. Let's make sure each of these thread in. That one's good. So there was nothing else in the box. No instructions, no warnings, no warranty card, nothing. There was just this little thank you for your purchase note with a generic email and 800 number that you can call if you need any support. So let's take this out to the farm now, and we'll see how it matches up to our tractor, and we'll try it out on some brush and some other stuff. We made it to the farm, finally. We can try out these debris forks. I just got out the tape measure and measured it up. It's about 42 inches wide, which I think might look a little funny on the bucket. It's over, the bucket I believe is over 60 inches wide. And it should stick out about 2 feet in front of the bucket edge. So let's get the tractor fired up, get these things hooked up, and then we'll go try it out. Like I said, I think my bucket is about 66, so maybe the cutting edge of the very bottom 66, it's 65 here, and then this is 42 and a half at the brackets, and the way these are welded on, it's 41 and a half here at the forks. So you end up with about a foot on each side. Exactly a foot there. I didn't make sure this was perfectly centered when I set it up, but boy, I got it close, within 1/4 of an inch. So I've got a bunch of brush up the hill here. We'll go try these out on that, and maybe we'll dig into the mulch pile as well, because I've got a bunch of mulch and we need to turn that periodically because we're kind of composting that stuff, and this might be the tool for the job. So I think these are really easy to get the hang of. The issue with the bulk of this brush pile, this was some treetops from some trees that I took down over there, and some of this stuff it's got to be 20 feet long, and I'm trying to balance it on those little 42-inch wide forks, and you know, it's just a little precarious. So if this was chopped down to be like 8 to 10 feet, it'd be really easy to slide up in the middle of that and move it around as needed with minimal amount of stuff falling off, I think. So what I'm going to do now real quick, I do have the chainsaw. I'm going to lop off the very top of that. I'm going to lop off some of that. And then I'm going to try to pick up some much shorter piles and see if that makes this a lot easier to handle. So it's kind of like the poor man's grapple. You know, was able to pick up the brush, and as long as it wasn't too long and unwieldy, at which point it got difficult to balance. But if you needed to move a bunch of branches and brush and other debris from one place to another, that would make quicker work than just using your bucket, that's for sure. I think I could grab a lot more with the grapple. Part of that is because you can just grab whatever random lengths you want with the grapple, clamp down on it, and hardly anything falls out of that. Where if you have stuff hanging off each end of this as you're bouncing down the road or bouncing across the field, stuff's going to be falling all over the place. But it works. So now I've got this mulch pile up here. We get tree companies drop us wood chips for free, and I've also been bringing yard waste. So down on that end there's a whole bunch of leaves and pine needles and other stuff, and I haven't turned this in a little while, probably not since last fall. So I'm way overdue for turning this, and I think those forks might actually work out pretty well for that. That does okay. It is definitely different than just using the bucket, obviously, because it sticks out so far, and as soon as you get those stuck in the pile, the loader, particularly on this size tractor, just doesn't have the strength to really kind of kick up the pile and dig itself out. So you kind of have to break it up and get it looser first, and then you can get a big fork full and a big bucket full and move it as needed. But I am so far pretty pleased with how it's holding up, and I was being a little bit aggressive with it. I actually jammed it in the ground a couple times. I was trying to see if I could work it loose from the bucket, also kind of doing it somewhat gingerly, trying not to bend my bucket, but I you know, didn't break loose at all. I did use the jam nuts on the handles, and I think it's, you know, doing everything we want it to do. I'm going to put this thing through a few more tests and a few more paces, get a little bit more acquainted with it, and give you guys another update on it here in maybe a couple days, a week or so. We'll see. But if you got any questions about how this thing's holding up, you know, if you're watching this a year from now or whatever, and you're researching debris forks and you come across my video, ask me what I think about it down the road. But so far, I think it's pretty interesting. I think it has a place on the farm, and particularly if you don't have a grapple, you can use it in many of the same situations for brush removal and collecting branches and all that kind of stuff like you would with a grapple if you had one. So I'm going to wrap us up. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.